Ah, knee pain. It can be absolutely debilitating, right? Well, today, we're going to dive into a program that's been making some big promises online. It's called Ageless Knees. We're going to break down what it is, how they say it works, and what the deal is. And just so you know, everything we're about to cover comes straight from their own promotional material.
So, the whole sales pitch really kicks off by zeroing in on a very powerful, very emotional problem. Take this quote from Diana Moore, who's 67. It really gets to the core of it, doesn't it? It's not just about a physical ache. It's about missing out on those huge life moments. And that right there, that's the central issue Ageless Knees claims it can solve for you.
Okay, so they've laid out the problem in a really personal way. But what's the actual solution they're offering? Let's take a look at what Ageless Knees is supposed to be, according to the people who made it.
So if you decide to buy this, here's what they say you'll get. It's kind of a mix of physical stuff and digital access. You've got a DVD, this thing they call the Miracle Massage Wand, and then a whole bunch of downloadable things, like a handbook and an exercise PDF.
Okay, but what's the thinking behind all this? How does a wand and a DVD actually promise to fix your knees? Well, the program lays out its own methodology, so let's get into that.
All right, so the entire program, really the whole idea, hinges on this one specific thing, the femoral nerve. They call this the root cause of knee pain. So the whole method is about targeting this nerve, supposedly to block pain, and at the same time reactivate your leg muscles.
So, what does this look like day to day? Well, they break it down into a super simple two-step routine. First, you use that Miracle Massage Wand to, and this is their word, jumpstart the femoral nerve. After that, you do a quick 7-minute strengthening routine. And that's it. That's the core of what you're supposed to do each day.
So you might be asking, what makes this different from everything else out there? Well, here's how they pitch it. They argue that most other solutions just give you temporary relief from the symptoms, but they claim their approach goes after the, you guessed it, root cause, that femoral nerve. The big selling point is this unique combo of the special wand and their specific routine, which they say you can't get anywhere else. Okay, naturally, if you're considering this, you probably have a ton of questions, and they know that. Their website has a whole FAQ section, so let's run through how they answer some of the most common ones.
First up, the million-dollar question, right? How long is this going to take before I actually start to feel better?
So here's what they say. Apparently, most people feel better right after the very first try. But, and this is a big but, for what they call long-lasting benefits, they really recommend you stick with the program for at least 30 days.
Okay, next is a super important one, especially considering the target audience. Hey, I'm over 60. Is this thing even safe for me to do? And according to their materials, the answer is yes. They say it was carefully designed to be safe and beginner-friendly, and they make a point of saying that this applies no matter how old you are or how much pain you're in.
And finally, let's talk about the practical side of things. How much time do you actually need to set aside for this every day?
The answer they give? 7. Just 7 minutes a day. That's the core routine. It seems like that's 7 minutes for each knee.
All right, so we've looked at the nuts and bolts and we've gone through the FAQs. Now, let's shift gears to what is maybe the most persuasive part of their whole pitch, the results they promise, told through the stories of actual users.
And to kick this section off, I just want you to focus on this one number, 80. That's how old the woman in this next story is. And here's her story. This is Carol Baker. She says her doctor told her she needed a total knee replacement, but after just a few days of doing this program, she claims she felt like she had new knees. And get this, she says she actually canceled her surgery. I mean, that is a seriously dramatic claim.
Okay, here's another one. This is from Robert Sanders, who's 59. He talks about dealing with knee pain for 30 years, ever since high school football. And he claims that this program has him walking better than 20 years of physical therapy and injections ever did.
And for our last one, listen to this story from Cynthia Hayes, who's 71. She says her knees were so bad, she genuinely thought she was going to end up in a wheelchair. But then she claims that after just one session, she was out in the backyard chasing her grandkids. The suggestion there is a really immediate, almost unbelievable turnaround.
Okay, so they've shown you the problem, they presented their solution, and they've shared these incredible stories. Now, the pitch pivots to the actual purchase. Let's break down the offer and the guarantee they present.
So the price they're advertising is $67. It is worth noting that the materials also mention you'll have to pay an extra $7.99 for shipping and handling for the physical parts.
And with that $67, they also throw in two things they call free bonuses. You get the Ageless Knees exercise PDF and something called the 3-minute morning knee flow.
Now, what if you try it and you're not happy with it? Well, there's a guarantee. It's a 60-day money-back promise that they branded the Painless Knees Guarantee. Basically, if you're not satisfied for any reason within those 2 months, they say you can get a full refund.
And that pretty much wraps up our breakdown. We've walked through the whole pitch, right? From the emotional hook, to the method they claim works, to the amazing testimonials, and finally, the price and the guarantee, all pulled directly from their own sales materials. So we'll just leave you with this one final question to think about. When a product promises a result that sounds truly life-changing, what are the things a smart consumer should really be thinking about?